Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sumner, also known as Sum the Bookworm, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my review of Fourth Wing. Before we get into talking about Fourth Wing and like my thoughts about it and everything, I first wanted to let you guys know that I am drinking a brown sugar cinnamon latte out of this mug that I made. It is an ACOTAR themed mug. I put like City of Belarus on there. You can't really see it because of the reflection, and City of Stars. And then I have like this like really cool like star-like detail. I don't know how much that you can see. I bring all that up to say because we finally have ACOTAR 6 and 7 covers and titles and blurbs. So if you have not watched my Crescent City book review and my ACOTAR 6 and 7 theories, please be sure to go back and watch that. If you were not aware, you do need to read Throne of Glass before you continue on with ACOTAR 6 and 7. Crescent City, there's a whole lot of stuff, but there will be a Massverse crossover that happens between all three worlds. So it is crucial to read all three series before going on with ACOTAR 6 and 7. All that to say, very exciting. So excited for the new book to come out. I honestly think I'm going to do an ACOTAR reread because it's been 3 years since I've read the books and I don't remember a whole lot. Like I remember enough, but I feel like I'm going to really need to know the details with everything that's coming out about the Valkyrian cycles and all the different things. So I probably will be doing a reread. But we're not here today to talk about Sarah J Maas. No. We're here today to talk about Fourth Wing and what I thought about the first book. So context, if you weren't aware, no Iris, my dog is in here with me and she wants to drink my latte. If you weren't aware, when I read this book 3 years ago, I hated it. Absolutely hated it. Part of that was because I listened to it on audio. It was my first mistake. Do not listen to this book on audio. It's so cringy. I loved the world building at first. Do not squeak that. So I didn't love it on audio. I loved the world building at the beginning. I loved the dragons. I loved like the writer relationship. Then we got to the romance in the audiobook and I was like, what is this? This is awful. And I'm coming off reading ACOTAR, so like I was not having a good time and I was like, this is awful. Ruined the entire book for me. I gave it 2 stars, maybe 2.5. It wasn't a high rating. My husband then is really getting into fantasy books and he's like, Sumner, I really want to read Fourth Wing. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I don't know if you're gonna like it, but you do whatever you want. I'm not gonna stop you. He reads all 3 books in like 2 weeks. And he's like, I need you to reread these because like, I want you to reread them physically. So I said, okay, I'll read them physically, but there's no guarantee that I'm gonna like it. Will you still love me if I don't? Which obviously he does. Anyways, all that to say, I picked this up physically and you guys, I had such a good time. I think I gave it 4.5 stars. It was not a 5-star read for me, but I loved it so much and I had such a good time with it. And I think that the reason why I didn't like it originally is because there's a lot of inner dialogue that's happening, but her inner dialogue sounds like spoken dialogue. And it's really hard to tell with the audio when she was thinking to herself versus when she wasn't. There's also some like mind speaking things that go on. And so it's really hard to tell like what is in your mind versus what is actually being said out loud. I just think that some things should not be said out loud because it's too cringy. And that is why not all books should be made into movies because it sounds really good on paper, but the minute we say it out loud, it's like, ooh. All that to say, I can see why people are like, was Adam or they're like Zaddy, okay? Okay, I get it. I get the hype now. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I had a really great time. Took me a little bit to get used to her wording. She's a little bit on the too descriptive side for my liking. I think there could have been a little more editing on that, but I don't want to be too harsh because I was so harsh the last time I read this. I loved the relationship between her and her dragon. There's like one specific character that reminds me of my dog. Like, I imagine that if my dog could talk, she would talk like this one specific character. Basically, if you've been living under a rock and you don't know what Fourth Wing is about, we follow our main character, Violet. She is in this world that has dragons, clearly, and she is sent off to Basgiath War College, but she is going specifically to be a writer. She is expecting to go and be a scribe, and then her mom last minute is like, nope, you're gonna be a writer just like your siblings. So sorry. That's just how it's gonna be. You're not gonna follow the steps of your dad. Super disappointing. She has multiple opportunities where she could go and join the scribe quadrant, and her mom would find out later and it'd be too late, but she continues to persevere and she becomes a writer. There's some other political things that happen in this story. She endures a lot of trials. They're in school, so like, I don't want to compare it to Harry Potter, but I will say, like, anytime I think of like a college setting, I immediately think of Hogwarts. So think like Hogwarts, but deadlier. Dragons, people are actually trying to kill you, not just like a bald guy with no nose trying to kill you. You literally don't know if you can go to sleep at night safely, even though you're supposed to. Like, things like that. Like, it gets a little crazy. All that to say, it's absolutely crazy. It was a very, very fun read. The really big question is will she bond with her dragon? Will she not? And so that's what this first one is all about, is like them revving up to bond with dragons. Not every writer is chosen. So that's just a little bit of a insight for you about it. I personally think it's best to go in blind to this book, not knowing a whole lot, because the more you know, I think like the less addictive it is to keep on going. Once you interact with the dragons though, the story really picks up. Like, if you start reading this and you're like, I don't know how I feel about it, I don't know how much I'm enjoying it, it's a little bit of world building at first, but once you get past the first 100 pages or so, it really picks up. Yeah, that's my thoughts on this. I am going to pick up Iron Flame next. I took a break from the series just because I needed a palate cleanser. I've been reading so much fantasy lately, so I wanted to take a little break from this. But I'm gonna be picking up Iron Flame after my next current read that I'm reading, and then we'll go from there. If you've read Fourth Wing, I would love to know. I don't know who hasn't read Fourth Wing. Actually, some people still haven't. I work in a bookstore and people come in asking for this book, so it's pretty crazy. How does this compare to other fantasy books that I've read? I liked it. I really love Shield of Sparrows. I think like it probably goes like ACOTAR, Shield of Sparrows, and then Fourth Wing for me. For some people, this is like their favorite book ever. It was not my most favorite book ever, but I loved it enough that I will be continuing on with the series. And I heard the Iron Flame is a more political. So I'm like, okay. The shock factor, the wow factor, I wasn't as shocked by, because again, I've read this, so I know what happens. Iron Flame, I have no idea what to expect. I have no idea what to expect with Onyx Storm. I have no idea what to expect with Threshing Day. So I am excited to go in without any knowledge of anything. Also, completely unrelated to this book review, I mentioned I'm taking a pottery class. I threw a bowl and I decided to carve dragons into it for Fourth Wing. So I'm really excited to see how that's going to turn out. I think I'm going to glaze it yellow with like black stain to kind of match the feel of this. So we'll see how it turns out, but I'm so excited to show you guys once it's done. Again, if you've read this, if you've read the entire series, please let me know. Please keep it spoiler free in the comments. I don't want to know anything. I really don't want to know anything. I love going into books completely blind, but at least let me know if you enjoyed them and what else do you want to see from me. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've made it this far, please don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss one of my videos, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!